Hey, what's good, everybody? Thank you for checking me out. So, today is Sunday, a beautiful day for sisters and brothers to connect and talk about how Africans can come together. When I say Africans, I don't want to differentiate between African diaspora, but Africans coming together. So, we are here in Sahara Spring in Cape Coast.
Good day to all of you. So today, here inside Sahara Spring, we hosted a group of Diasporans. They came in here to have a little meeting to talk about generally their life here in Ghana, what is good, what is bad for them, what they think they can do to blend with the locals, and they also even found out whether or not if it's good for them to even blend with the locals or not. I think it was an amazing talk. It was very beautiful. This is Sahara. This is some of the few things we do here. We host some panel members. As time goes on as well, we do a lot of things. We do events. Charlie, here is the place to be every time, every second, every moment. Make sure you pass through. My name is Trigger. Peace out.
And I have two beautiful women in my life that want to say something about what happened here today. So, your name and what happened here today.
Okay, my name is Soraya Fakobo. We are at Sahara Restaurant in Cape Coast, and we were invited by Doc and Grinda Belcher to talk about, to start a conversation about what it means to be diaspora and come into Ghana, how we can blend with this culture and have this culture blend with us. So there was a mix of really wonderful people here, all expressing their ideas for how they can actually become friends with the Ghanaian culture and have the Ghanaian culture befriend them. So it's been very energizing. People enjoyed this so much and they want to come back again. We know that there'll be follow-up conversations. What we're hoping is that those conversations will become deeper and deeper and will grow with more and more people in attendance. So thank you for taking some time to really show up what's going on here.
All right.
Hello. Thank you so much for giving me an opportunity to speak here today. This was, as my mom, Soraya, said, my name is Adina. Soraya is my mother. This was, as my mom said, a really wonderful experience. What I really was hearing, in addition to all of the practical nuggets, was a desire to really have unity with each other. I heard that expressed from my Diasporan brothers and sisters and from my Ghanaian brothers and sisters. There's a desire for us to have unity, and the conversations will help us take those practical steps that we need to actually achieve that unity. So I can't wait for the next one. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm also grateful to be included in this forum today. I found the ideas that we've exchanged to be very, very fruitful and enlightening, and I've learned a lot today. I'm just going to mention a word that's not been mentioned yet. Spirituality. Spirituality is another large group of thought systems that have influenced who we are and who Africans are. And we've got many things that are still with us as diasporans because of the things that have survived through the spiritual systems that we've been a part of in our separate cultures. They, on the other hand, have been embraced by or have embraced some of the spiritual systems that have come over from the West. So that's another area where blending has occurred and can continue to occur in different ways.
Let's take Ghana. What are the foundational thread of the culture? Respect your elders. Is that different when you go to the Ewe land? No. You can talk to your elders anyhow. Is that different when you come to the Fanti land? No. You can't put a stumbling block in front of a foreigner. It is the same wherever you go. However, I will use the kondo to make a plan because I'm an Ewe. The Fanti will use the kondo to make kenke. It is still a kondo. So why are we bothered about whether it's kenke or it's aklen? It is a kondo. Can we deal with it as a kondo, and what is the nutrient we get from that? That should be our conversation. Not the fact that it's a kenke or it's an aklen.
And
I think that's what we're doing.
You could even go further and say hush puppy. to come over to the,
Cornbread.
you know, because we brought it, it's all this.
Let's go back to the
Right,
essence.
the essence.
If I could add something, that thread, yes, we certainly have Western influence, but that thread stayed with us in America. So the way that I would show respect to an elder in Ghana may be different. But, you know, I was saying earlier, I have heard kids in America that aren't Black Americans say things to their parents that I wouldn't say today, and I can outrun her. But I would never talk to her that way. So that thread may have morphed. It may look a little different, but those things are still similar. When we were getting our interview for our citizenship, one of the people asked what food we like, and I'm like, oh, contumely, I love contumely, right? And he said, well, a lot of people are saying that. Why do you think that is? And it's like, tastes like greens.
Greens and cornbread.
Greens and cornbread, fufu and contumely, those threads are still there. They're still there in us, and so maybe some of that intentionality is building on those threads.
I have no separation. I'm no better than anyone. Not anyone here. No better than anyone. Where I see a need, if I can feel it, I'm going to feel it. Because I believe in community. I do not believe in separation. If we separate, we don't have a community. I am not afraid to walk the streets. I'm not afraid to go into the market. People think I'm crazy because I just go up and talk to them. And I ask questions. I want to learn. This is where my ancestors came from. Why should I come here and separate myself? But everybody had a different reason to come here. And I was led to come here. And then I was given assignments when I got here. I had assignments before I came here. My thing is community. And I'm going to support it, and I'm going to do whatever I can. And when they take me out of here, you're going to say, Miss Brenda, and I don't need your roses now. I don't need anything from you, but to be able to help build a community. That's all I need. And that is one of the reasons why I wanted to start this, because I've seen so many ignorant Ghanaians and diasporas, and I'm going, what the devil is this? That common thread is so important that you mentioned. We are tapestry, and that it goes through. We go through. So I don't know who's gonna come back and join the next thing that we do and bring somebody else. But we can only thing I'm praying for is that we continue to build upon this. To build upon it.
The next question you had about things that can help out. I have two things that I've seen that have really helped me out to blend in. One is learning the language. That does a few things. It makes them, you should see the joy on their face when you go past a Kwaba and Madison. When you actually say something, you should see how they light up. Like, oh wow, you're really learning it. Two, it helps me feel safer in places because now I know what's going on. I know sometimes you say it's the security part of it. Just knowing because you might not be comfortable going to a place where nobody's going to be speaking English. If you can start picking up words here and there, it makes you feel a little safer. And then when I go to Accra, even though they speak Ga, I still speak my Fanti where I'm from, and their face lights up too. Like, oh, you must be Central Region. They know, then they accept you more. They really appreciate you taking the steps to try to learn, and that goes a very long way. So they'll stop messing with you, stop begging you for stuff. If you tell them no in their language right away, they'll be like, oh, okay, let me leave them alone then. And another thing is, I know there's a lot of business owners here, so don't take this the wrong way, but I started to follow the pattern where I was.
Thank you for what you said, because it's true. We can get into the routine, just like in the States. I gotta go to Target, then I'll hit Walmart, then I'll hit the next convenience spot. And the reality is we need to open that door, open that generosity so people can feel like they've been welcomed in. And I think as far as like blending goes, that's been the most important thing for me. When I truly, you said when you leave the house, do you think about making a Ghanaian friend. And I might not think about making a Ghanaian friend, but I want to look as Ghanaian as possible. I want everybody who passes me to, before I open my mouth, I think I'm first.
That changes how people see us, how we see people, because gentrification, my definition of gentrification is when another group or culture comes into an area that is different from what's there and they have more, maybe more resources. Those resources cause tension. Just by the fact that you have those resources, it causes tension and eventually tears things apart. I know this because I have worked in environments where part of my job was to repair the tearing of people and cultures and neighborhoods because of gentrification. When people with wealth and what may look like to everybody else as privilege come in, things get higher in cost. Housing goes up, housing changes, the whole look of everything changes. And I think that we would not be doing a service to this culture that we are embracing and hopefully is embracing us, to talk about how we can minimize that effect or neutralize, if it's possible to neutralize it. I'll say to minimize.
It's because I'm hearing conversations on both sides, the diasporans, the Ghanaians, and I'm hearing negative things, and I don't live with confusion and negative things. So I thought, and like I said, this came to me to just pull people together, pull unique people like you and all these other unique people, amazing people we had here today, and listen to what they are saying. And from this, we were talking about Ekow over there, we're talking about bigger things. But I think until we learn the culture of each other, keep the respect there, that we're not going to go anywhere if we don't do that. So this is one reason, that was the reason why I want to pull it together today.
Yeah, and intentionally we invited people from both sides that we thought would be conversational, because the goal was just to have a conversation. If you were sitting around the dinner table, just to have that conversation about what is it that will help support you blending into the culture here, and what is it that might block you from blending into the culture here.
Yeah.
So it was good. I didn't hear a discouraging word at all. People seemed positive about being here and starting these conversations. So that's the key. Also, this is the first of hopefully to be many, and we'll see what it evolves into.
Yeah, it is really good to hear people say, let's do this and let's come back and let's, I came to be a part of this community. I didn't come here to build a house and put a wall around it and stay inside of it. I didn't come here with fear that something is going to happen to me if I walk the streets. I just stand up and talk to people and tell them, I can tell them now I'm a citizen, right? Right? Yeah. And then I can tell them that I've done the DNA on my mom and she's from Sierra Leone. And then I tell them a story about that. And then my Ghanaian people look at me and say, yeah. So I think when we can share who we are with each other, we can do that blending that they were talking about. Yeah. So
thank you very much.
You're
Thank
welcome.
you for being here.
Yes.
Yeah, we appreciate you.
All right. You're welcome. Bye.
Bye.
But let me talk about the big elephant in the room. The Western mentality. She talked about having the right mindset. Because we hadn't mentioned it, not really. When we come to Ghana and to Africa in general, Africa may have a certain viewpoint of us because of the Western mindset. But also when we come here, there's a certain amount of Western mindset here as well. It's both. So we all been hit by the colonizer. So that's the big elephant in the room. But I think what we're talking about now is really revolutionary, what we're doing now. And it is the big elephant in the room. It's the big elephant in the world. Because if we get together, Africans in the diaspora, Africans in Africa get together, Nobody wants to see that happen outside of Africa. Because we got so much here. We carry so much here culturally. We carry so much here economically. So many resources. We own a lot of the resources of the world. Nobody wants to see that. So I think this gathering is so revolutionary in itself. So we need to take this gathering back to the villages, to our community that we live in Ghana, to the communities back in the diaspora. We need to have those discussions to make Africa what it really needs to be. So I'm here to make Africa what it needs to be and what it wants to be. To be involved in that conversation. So let's don't forget the big elephant in the room. But we are the biggest elephant in the room if we do what we say we're going to do.
Three things for me. When my brother was talking, the issue of security stands out for me. When my sister spoke, the issue of intentionality stood out for me. And then when my brother just spoke, the issue about teaching. So I'll start with intentionality. When we do what we call self-development process, which is a training that I've been engaged in, we always ask participant a question. When you want to be a friend, what do you go out to be? You definitely have to go out as a friend first for you to find a friend. If you go out as anything else, you cannot find a friend. And so therein lies some of the red flags. Because the quick question we should be asking ourselves, how many of us go out as a Ghanaian to therefore become a Ghanaian? When I'm leaving my home, am I going out to say, listen, I want to be a Ghanaian friend first. Therefore, I will find a Ghanaian friend. Or I want to be part of a Ghanaian family. So I'm going to be a family member to a Ghanaian family, and therefore they would accept me as a member of the family. If you go with any other motion, any other intention, your vibration smells. That's the thing about this land we call Africa. Yeah, the colonial masters, so to say, have done a number on all of us on that side, on this side, but our lands are still alive, and the land can smell your vibration at each time. The little child in the home can smell your vibration, and that's why when you raise your hands to take the little Akosua, she probably does like this because she can feel your aura and the energy you come with. So the first thing for me is intentionality. If you have it in your mind that I want to be part of Ghana, then Ghana is going to receive you. But like he said, if you go out to say, I want to teach a Ghanaian how to be a Ghanaian, how can you teach a Ghanaian to be a Ghanaian when you yourself don't know the ethos of what it means to be a Ghanaian? And I think that those are some of the questions. It goes back to what I said in the beginning.